Hi there, Pure family, and welcome back to another very exciting tutorial here on LivePurePro.com. I'm Blaine Givens, and as usual, we are going to discover yet another awesome feature here on LivePurePro. I will say today's tutorial is probably one of my favorites, and that's because of the features that this particular section has within LivePurePro. Today we're going to be talking about Team Leader, and the Team Leader function more specifically. For those of you who are new to LivePurePro.com, or for those of you who've been using LivePurePro but maybe aren't sure of how to use it perhaps, or aren't sure of the advanced features, as I discussed in previous tutorials, we will be discussing and talking about and diving into some of those advanced features, including this one today, discussing Team Leader and the admin back office that you have here on LivePurePro. So starting from the home screen, let's go ahead and get started. You're going to want to head on over to the Marketing tab here at the top, and scroll on down to Become a Team Leader. Now, you might be presented with a different screen than what you see here. It may say something along the lines of activate your account, and you'll have to do that, and then you'll be brought to this screen. If you already have this screen, then maybe you've tried to become a team leader in the past, and you just weren't sure what was involved with it, so you stopped. So once you're to this page, you're going to want to create a team name. Now, keep in mind, this team name is not for your mobile back office or your virtual back office. This has nothing to do with those. It's strictly for LivePurePro.com. Okay? So I already came up with a team name. This is just for the sake of this tutorial, Pure Innovation. Now, you're also going to want to come up with an access code, and you're going to want to make it somewhat like a password, but you're going to share this access code with those people who also have LivePurePro so that they can become a part of your team. So just for the sake of this tutorial, that's going to be my access code. And then we'll say Activate Team Leader. And you'll be brought to this admin website or admin web page, which is the back end of LivePurePro's Team Leader function. And there's a lot of stuff to look at here. So I encourage you, when you have time, to look over this Team Leader guide. It addresses a lot of the features and customizations and how to build out your team more thoroughly. But in the interim and in this tutorial, we're going to be discussing some of these links down here about the content, and then we'll of course be discussing all of these links and this information on the side right here. So let's go ahead and start here with the referral link. Referral link is basically the link you would use for people who have LivePurePro to join your team. And there's something I want to sort of delineate here for the listeners. Hearing you guys are listening to this tutorial, make sure that you don't share this link as something for like purchasing product or to join your team in terms of underneath you as an IBO or in your downline. This has nothing to do with people in your downline. This has to do with people on your LivePurePro team. What's the difference there, and why is that important? So essentially, LivePurePro has a lot of resources, as we've discussed in previous tutorials, and anybody in this team can access these resources. So it's kind of separate in the sense that it has nothing to do with joining underneath you as an IBO. It has more to do with creating resources and creating a successful team here on LivePurePro. And someone who might be a leader or someone who has a few people underneath you in your downline, you're going to want to share this link with them, and I highly encourage you to talk to your downline and say, hey, you really need to become a part of LivePurePro. And for those of you who are leaders and not a part of LivePurePro, I would encourage you to do so, because there are so many powerful features here to facilitate business growth, to facilitate product knowledge, education, and just a slew of other resources that you can use. And Team Leader is just one of the many features. So you would share this link right here for those people to join your team here on LivePurePro. The other thing you have here is team settings. Of course, this is kind of a cool part. So as you build out your team, you can change your back office logo. What you see right here is this LivePurePro at the top, and that's exactly what this is right here. So you can see if I'm dragging it, it's the same logo. You can actually change this logo so that when people log into your team, it might say Pure Innovations or Pure Innovation, and it would feel more like they're logging into your team specifically. So you can do that here. Just upload your file, upload an image, and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and head back to the Team Leader admin. Team name and access code. As I mentioned earlier, the team name and access code are not permanent. You can definitely change those at any point. So just keep in mind that they are not, it's not finalized once you create your account. You can come in here and I might have said, oh, I actually wanted this S in here because I wanted it to be Pure Innovations. Save changes and name and access code have been saved. Perfect. It's that easy. And the people that are already on your team will automatically be updated about this team name. Now, the one thing that would not be updated, of course, is your logo. So let's say you had Pure Innovation here as your logo. You would need to change that as well so it doesn't just keep track of what your team name is. So that's nice to have there. Managing notifications is fairly self-explanatory, but also very important to make sure that you have completed. For those people who are signing up for your team, you want to have sort of a pre-written email or a cancellation email or a reactivation email. And heading back here to the home screen, we can turn off Team Leader Admin. There's not really any reason why you'd want to do this. You may want to if you're trying to deactivate your team, or maybe you want to kind of clear out your team. You can do that here. Like I said, there's not too many reasons that you'd want to turn off your Team Leader Admin rights, because essentially that would disband the team and there's nowhere for them to go, essentially. So marketing page, fairly important. These are definitely more advanced features. We'll go ahead and talk about marketing page. There are marketing tools, so things like you could put in things like calendars, forms, things of that nature. If you know anything about HTML, we right now don't have any resources in this particular area to give you, but if you have an advanced knowledge or if you have someone on your team who knows a fair amount of HTML, they can certainly write their own coding here for your team page. And then this training page is very self-explanatory. You'll have things like training documents, images, website links, and things of that nature that kind of becomes a library of resources. And really, that's the powerful part about Team Leader. That's, I would say, the number one feature of Team Leader is the ability to share resources with people in your team. And I'll show you here in a second how that works and why that's so powerful. So let's head back to this home screen. Okay, so we're here on the home screen. Sorry. We're here on the home screen, and we have these emails, capture pages, email campaigns, calendar entries, videos, and so on all the way down. And this is truly the most powerful part of Team Leader, and why I think that every IBO should have Live Pure Pro simply for Team Leader. It is that powerful. And if you're trying to aggressively build a team or you're trying to grow your business really quickly, Live Pure Pro, in my opinion, is the only way to do it, especially with the resources that we provide you with. Live Pure Pro is one of the highest supported software packages from corporate. So, a lot of times if you go to your virtual back office, you have some resources. You definitely have a library there, which we provide a lot of information in. But it's kind of up to you to determine how you use that. And some people might think that's a benefit. And I definitely think that having all those assets on our VBO and on our MBO is a tremendous help. However, the really cool part about Live Pure Pro is that we create custom emails, we create custom graphics and videos, and they're all ready to go to be shared immediately. So some of the graphics that you find on the VBO, they're very helpful and they're good for knowledge and education, and you can share them. Certainly you can share them, and we encourage you to do that. But here on Live Pure Pro, we have Smart Sender and we have Share Senders, the things that allow you to have a complete package of information with the text, with the graphics, and everything you need to be sent to potential prospects. So from that standpoint, it's ready to go, and we keep it up to date so that you guys always have the most recent information and the most recent graphics to use and share. So, let's discuss a little bit about why this particular feature within Live Pure Pro is so strong. Once you start building out your team here in Live Pure Pro, let's say you have 2 or 3 members. That's nice, but you want to try and get around 10 to 15. I think that's when it could become really powerful for you. As you begin to create emails, like let's say someone in your team creates an email and it worked really well for getting, maybe that person picked up 5 or 6 new leads because this email was so well written, right? Well, that's the cool part about this is that member in your team can share that with everybody else. So then everybody in your team can use those same emails. Now, that may not seem helpful because, we'll be flooding the market with the same emails. It's likely that it's unlikely that you will come across the same people in your team unless you live right next to each other, or if you live very close together and you're sharing the same opportunity with everyone. But if you're fairly distributed across the United States or internationally, there's a good chance that your emails and your scripts will never be seen by the same person. So essentially, you're building up an email database of emails that work and don't work. And people on your team can use those and share those with everyone on the team. And that's essentially what this is. Do not share. You want to add. So when you add this, all emails and scripts that your team writes, one-touch emails, phone scripts, will all be available for their team. So every single person on your team, as they begin to create assets here on LivePure Pro, can share those assets with each other. And that's the same with capture pages, the same with email campaigns, calendar entries, and things like events and so on, and videos. So you can begin to see how a team that's small, maybe 10 to 15 people, can really do a lot of work and can help each other a lot, because you might have dedicated team members that do certain things, And so as you begin to build out your email scripts and your capture pages along with your email campaigns and video resource library on top of the resources that we provide you here on LivePure Pro, it is no doubt that you guys will have a lot of success not only in generating leads, but hopefully in capturing those leads and converting them into either new IBOs or new members. And that's really the goal of Team Leader, is to bring together your team to create greater amount of assets that hopefully bring in more leads. And honestly, like I said, if you're not using Team Leader, especially if you're already using LivePure Pro and you're not using Team Leader, I highly encourage you to do so. If you're not yet using LivePure Pro, Team Leader is probably the number one reason, in my personal opinion, that you would use it if you're really trying to grow your business. Now, like I said, there are many other features that we've discussed in previous tutorials here on LivePure Pro that are tremendous assets to you. But for growth and for team development, Team Leader is definitely where it's at. Well, thank you guys for joining me here on LivePure Pro as we discuss the great benefits of Team Leader. Come back for another tutorial, and we'll be discussing some more advanced features here on LivePure Pro. Take care.